All right, welcome back to Babble Sports. Going to be talking some UFC predictions today. We got Dan and Austin up in the top
Yep.
corner, and we got Alex Stefano in the bottom. We'll just hop right into it. So what we got, Alex? What we got?
Well, what we got is a good night of fights. I mean, from the very beginning, kicking it off with a heavyweight matchup. William Knight and Maxim Grishin. It was supposed to be a light heavyweight fight, but Knight actually missed weight by 12 pounds. So he's going to forfeit 40% of his purse. It's going to go to a heavyweight fight, and it's also going to be the first fight of the night, which it was supposed to be on the main card. So in that fight, I'm thinking, are we going to just go straight into the picks, like from the bottom to the top?
Well, I mean, starting from the bottom, yeah, or wherever you guys were planning on.
I think we just go over these fights. Might not have a pick on every fight.
All right. Well, I pretty much have a pick on every fight because you know me, I bet on pretty much every fight.
Cool.
So with that fight, I mean, with it being a heavyweight fight and Knight missing weight, doesn't seem like he put in too much work into making his light heavyweight weight. So I'm going under 2.5 rounds, minus 105. The value's there, and that's my play.
I would. I don't really like an under over in that type of fight. I think William Knight already walks around as a big dude, so him missing weight by 12 pounds, I think he's still actually going to have a good cardio for this fight. He's already a bigger dude. I think he's going to win the fight, whether it's by decision or knockout.
I mean, what are the odds? Is he might maybe just stay away from that one?
Well, William Knight's plus 145 on the money line, and the under is actually better payout than the over. And looking at Knight's last 5 fights, 3 of them have gone decision. He's won unanimous in those 3 that have gone to decision, and he's won by knockout. Actually, he lost 1 by unanimous decision. So 2-1 unanimous decision, 2 knockouts in his last 5. I mean, I just see the value in the in either Knight money line or the under.
All right. What about the Wells Diamond? What do you guys think about that?
Yeah, then we got Israel Adesanya's boy, Blood Diamond, fighting out of New Zealand with Izzy. They've been training together for years. He's making his UFC debut today. He's going up against Jeremiah Wells, he's only got 1 fight in the UFC. He won by knockout. I mean, he's good. He's 9-2-1 in his career. I think that the level of competition he was fighting in was not, UFC level. And if this guy's been training with Adesanya for a while, I'm taking the value. He's underdog plus 200. I'm going with Izzy's boy off those principles right there.
And he doesn't have any losses under his belt yet, right?
Right. He's only 3-0, so not saying that he's fought anybody either, but training with Adesanya and all that.
I think he was fighting in a kickboxing.
They probably give him an easier fight too because of his clout.
Yeah, well, he's a plus 200 underdog, and we as UFC fans don't really know much about these guys other than Blood Diamond being, a partner with Adesanya. So
it's tough because there's not much on him.
Exactly, but there's not much on the other guy either. So I'm saying it's not a fight that I want to put a unit on, but I do see value in a plus 200. Double your money in taking Adesanya's boy, because I think it's going to be a kickboxing fight. I don't think these guys are going to come in and grapple. So just off hands alone in kickboxing, because I did watch some highlights of his kickboxing, and he does have some nice leg kicks. He has body kicks, and he even has head kicks. So he has the whole arsenal. When it comes to striking.
He has a very in-depth background in kickboxing. In mixed martial arts, he's only fought 3 times, but he was really good in kickboxing. Training with Israel, he's going to come in with some technical style.
It's going to be an exciting fight, to say the least.
Definitely.
And then we got Douglas Silva and Sergi.
Yeah, that fight, that one's tough to read. I mean, usually in fights like that, I mean, they can go either way. But bantamweight, about the line is plus 180, minus 220. Morozov's the favorite. I really don't have a pick in that fight. That I usually have a pick in almost every fight, but this one, I'm just gonna stay away from that one.
Doing
Go
doing
either
some
way.
research, I figured I'd throw like a 2 cents in. Doing some research, I did find some value on Morozov by decision. Bantamweight, they usually can go to the distance. He's a pretty heavy favorite at minus 240 for someone you're not confident in, but taking him by decision, I think was somewhere in the minus 150, 160. So there's some value there just because he has a bigger underdog, but that's definitely a fight that I'm going to stay away from as well.
Fair enough. And then the Dobson Malkoun fight.
Dobson, he's making his UFC debut. He's off the Dana White Contender Series. He won by submission on there. He's 6-0 in his career, 3-0 by knockout, 2-0 by submission. You can't really judge him off his background because 6-0 sounds nice, but he hasn't really fought anybody. Mm-hmm. While Malkoun, he's 5-1, 2-1 by knockout, and he's not lost or won by submission. He's fought in the UFC twice. Got knocked out in 18 seconds versus Phil Hawes, his debut. And then he fought again about a year or about 6 months later, and he won by unanimous decision. So it's tough to get a read on him. He trains out of Australia with Whitaker. It's about a pick him in this fight.
Yeah.
I'm going with Dobson though. After watching him in the Dana White Contender Series, I think he brings a lot to the table. He's definitely going to be a name we're going to talk about for a while in the UFC. I think he's going to get the win tonight, and he's going to fight again shortly. We'll be talking about him again on the next podcast or next time he fights.
I think with Malkoun, he brings a little more experience, obviously, into the fight. He's won the decision. He's lost his first fight in the first 20 seconds, and losses like that you can only learn from. But I remember we watched AJ on the Dana White Contender Series, and he really can do everything. He has a great takedown defense. He's really good on the ground when he gets a takedown. He's averaging like three submissions per minute when he's on the ground. And then also he has a good striking. The thing that scares me about him is his defense isn't up to par, obviously, without that experience, but he is a mastermind of the offense. But he's also like a young prospect. But speaking of young prospects, in the next fight, we do have Ronnie Lawrence coming in, someone who's everyone's really excited for in the UFC. And we have a couple of those on the card, but him being the first one here. What do you feel about that fight, Oz?
The line, tells us for itself. Lawrence is minus 300. He's got Bellator background. He also won unanimous decision in the Contender Series, and then he's 1-0 in the UFC with a knockout.
I tell you, a KO's coming in that one.
Yeah, I was thinking not exactly sure what the spread is on the over/under, but let's see here. Find it real quick.
There you go.
Under 2.5.
Let me just fix that real quick. There it is.
Perfect.
Under 2.5 is plus 150. So I think Lawrence gets the job done. He won by knockout in his last fight, and I can see him winning by knockout again. The money line's too spread out for me to take side on that.
Yeah.
Or even parlay it. Minus 300. I don't think I'm touching that. But under 2.5, it's a good bet. I would take that if I am betting on that fight.
I think using Ronnie Lawrence in a parlay piece, if you're going for a 6-7 legger with a $10, $15, something crazy for the night. If you wanted to throw just him in a parlay, I do think he's a lock. I don't think he's going to lose. But like Oz says, that minus 300 just brings a lot of risk.
Well, and also his opponent, he's 8-0 by knockout. So even if Lawrence does get caught, under 2.5, you doesn't matter who wins. You just need somebody to go to sleep early.
I don't see it ending in a decision.
Yeah, no, definitely not. And that's kind of rare for a bantamweight fight to predict the knockout, but I think that's where the value's at.
We're another prospect.
I'm excited for this one.
And then we also got another guy training out of Auckland, New Zealand with Israel and Blood Diamond, Carlos Olberg. He's 1-1 in the UFC. Or no, he won in the Contender Series. Then he lost his debut in UFC. He fought Kenby Ncheku. He was actually dominating him in the first round. almost had the knockout, gassed himself out trying to get the knockout, and got worn down in the beginning of the second round and got slumped by Ncheku, who I don't think is that good.
Yeah, he's just a striker.
So with that being said, that was last March. He's had about a year off from that. I think he learned from that. He probably has worked on his cardio, training with Israel. I'm always going to back a guy like that. But he's minus 270 on the money line. So I see him as a parlay piece. Or if you want to take the under in the fight, I mean, that's not a bad idea either. The under 1.5 is minus 142. With Oldberg getting gassed in his last fight early and almost knocking out Ncheku early, I would play the under if you're gonna do like a straight bet on this fight. Plus, another thing with these fights with pay-per-view and being fans and stuff like that, these guys are going for finish. They got the crowd.
They're trying to put a show on.
Yeah, they're not trying to have a snooze fest like they do in the Apex in Vegas when there's 150 fans.
Yeah, we already know
these guys are going to please the crowd, and
I mean, we already know they don't get paid enough anyway, so they're going for that finish of the performance of the night, fight of the night. They're going for something like that. Especially in a pay-per-view event like this. You got to live up to a bunch of other fights that are going to be absolutely bangers.
And just another little side note, Charant, who Oldberg's fighting, he's 0-2 by knockout in his career. And he's gotten finished in the first round in both of his UFC fights.
The last one was William Knight.
Yeah, and he got knocked out by William Knight in the first round. So that goes back to the first fight we talked about, the under William Knight money line, like both those.
And we got the Kyler Phillips versus Marcelo Rojo.
Yeah, Kyler Phillips, he trains with Sean O'Malley. He's Sean O'Malley's boy. He's not very impressed with me, to be honest. He lost his last fight to Paiva, who Sean O'Malley beat last. But he's 3-1 in the UFC. I mean, he has 2 knockouts, 1 by unanimous decision. He's minus 420 on the money line. I mean, I just don't see like there being a play in this fight unless you want to take a big underdog. I think he's the biggest underdog on the night, Rojo.
I think you're having a little bit of a recency bias though with Kyler Phillips.
Yeah, I'm with Dan on that.
Kyler's, I think he's still young. I mean, he still doesn't have many fights under his belt, so he's gonna have fights like that where he's supposed to win and he didn't win. Especially when I think it was a split or a majority decision. So I think Kyler's going to dominate. I kind of find value in the under 2.5, but I think it's at minus 170.
Yeah.
But I do see Kyler either finishing him by submission or by a knockout. I think that the minus 400 might be a little too steep. I could see him being minus 250, minus 300, but I still do see him being a favorable favorite.
Fair enough. He's favored by a lot, so
he's the biggest favorite on the card.
Yeah. All right, and then we got the Roxanne Modafferi versus Casey O'Neill. I might have butchered that, but
no, it was
you
actually pretty
hit
good.
the nail on the head.
She was Ultimate Fighter. What? Yeah. This was like
I think she's like the the debut of Ultimate Fighter.
Yeah,
she's been fighting since I saw a stat. I think she's been fighting since 2004. Like a lot of these fighters, like Adesanya hadn't even started kickboxing in his career. Like she's been around for a super long time.
She looks seasoned.
Yeah, oh yeah, she is seasoned. No doubt. Casey O'Neill, she's 8-0 in her career. I've seen her. I've watched her fights. She's 3-0 in the UFC. 1-2 by knockout. She's just a dog.
Talk about a night of prospects. We have all these people coming up. A lot of 8-0, 8-1 people that are 3-0, 2-0 in the UFC. Until those last 3 fights, all these people are a lot of prospects that are going to come up in the UFC. So it's going to be fun to see all these people. But speaking of that, I am sprinkling money on Roxanne. Casey is a stud, but Roxanne by decision does have value. She's seasoned. I don't think if Casey can't finish her, I think she gets a little frustrated. But I'm definitely sprinkling a little bit. I'm not going to put a lot of money on it, but it's something that I can see Roxanne actually doing. We've seen underdogs like this win on every card. Oz is nervous about Kyler. I'm a little nervous about Casey O'Neill just with how much of a veteran Roxanne is. But I wouldn't be surprised if Casey just comes out and dominates.
I just think at 40 years old in the UFC and you're fighting, 18 years in the UFC, how much do you really have to beat? Like, how much do you have left in the tank to beat an up-and-coming fighter like Casey O'Neill? Like, I just don't see her getting the job done, Roxanne getting the job done at all. I mean, while O'Neill's money line is minus 420, I'll throw a prop bet on her to win by finish.
Or fight
To take odds down a little bit.
This got to be one of her last fights, right? Like 40?
Yeah.
Depending on how it goes, could be last.
Yeah.
Yeah. Totally agree. And then we're getting into
Right.
to the heart of the card. What do we have? 6 fights left to talk about.
Yeah.
Anybody have anything to say over these last couple fights? Any major notes? Any bets that you guys are liking? Anything you guys want to sprinkle?
I mean, Oz really covered a lot of the points. He really nailed a lot of the points on the head. But I don't have anything to add. Do you have anything to add, Tefano?
For the ones we just talked about?
Yeah, the ones we've covered.
No, not really.
Okay. Cool. Well, we can finish up with
So
these
we
last
got
couple fights.
Andre Arlovsky versus Jared Bandera. Andre Arlovsky's been in the UFC for a long time also. He's 43 years old. And that goes back to my point of how much do you really have in the tank to beat somebody like Jared Bandera, who's coming off of a bad loss against somebody who was very good. I remember watching this fight. He fought Romanov. Romanov was the biggest favorite on the card. He did what he was supposed to do. Bandera's 29 years old. He's hungry for a win. He's been, ever since he got in the UFC, loss, win, loss. He's coming for a win tonight, and he's the underdog. Plus 130, I'm taking the money on Bandera.
This is going to be a dogfight. Heavyweights are going to come out swinging. But I do like Arlovsky. He's minus 155 at I got him. It's going to be the first of my parlay piece that I'm going to, with these last 6 fights, I have 4 picks. We're going to get a parlay in here. He's going to be the first leg of my parlay. I have Arlovsky.
We'll drop the parlays at the end.
And we'll drop parlays.
I got 2 parlays.
But I just think he's going to be more experienced. He's going to be able to finish Bandera. And I just really like him in this spot, minus 155. So he's going to be the first piece of my parlay. Not much else to say about it.
And then we got Green versus Nasrat.
Yeah, Bobby Green versus Nasrat Haqparast. I got Bobby Green. I mean, every time he comes out, he only fights on pay-per-view cards, if you've noticed. It's for a reason. It's because this guy puts up a show every time.
Last 2 fights, he got fight of the night performance.
Yeah, and then I'm just not a believer in Nasrat. He's been a big favorite in most of his fights. He got knocked out as like a minus 420 favorite against Drew Dober. Mm-hmm. And if you know UFC, you know Drew Dober is not a knockout artist. Yeah. So I can't take Nasrat in this fight. I'm going to take Bobby Green at minus 150. And if your book has it, I mean, it's always worth throwing a little prop bet on Bobby Green to win fight of the night.
Yeah, I can see that as well. And this is a fight that I am actually staying away from. It was really between Arlovsky or Bobby Green for my first leg of my parlay. I just think Bobby Green, he's not known as a defensive fighter, and Nasrat has so much power in that left. I'm pretty sure one's fighting orthodox, one fighting southpaw. So I just think Nasrat's left hand can come into play. I think if he can connect on one of those or 2 of them, the fight could be over. But I could see Bobby Green being very technical, wearing down and chopping the legs. But this is something I'm going to stay away from. If I get maybe a couple drinks in me, up to the fight, might have a straight bet in me. But I don't see anything right now as of value for me.
And then we got Brunson versus
No, we got
Cannonier.
Alexander Hernandez and Renato Moicano is the
Oh,
fourth
you're right.
last
You're
fight
right.
of the night.
You're right.
Moicano is very good. I can't deny that. He's favorited for a reason. His grappling is up there. He's 8-1 by submission in his career, but he's 0-3 by knockout. Alexander Hernandez, on the other hand, is knockout. You know, he's knockout king. I wouldn't say that actually, but he's got power. He's 6-2 by knockout. He knocked out Breeden in the first round of his last fight, and he's got 2 knockouts in his last 5 fights in the first round. I'm laying the money. I'm taking the money on Hernandez and plus 130 underdog. I'll take that. He was actually super mad that he wasn't on the main card, and because William Knight missed weight, they moved it down.
They got up.
Hernandez got the main card spot. I think he's not going to disappoint.
Yeah, I think
hopefully it's on the show.
to piggyback that, I'm on Hernandez as the second leg of my parlay that's going to come out. But I also kind of what is the over under here?
Yeah, the over under is 2.5. You got pretty much a pick 'em in the over under.
I think
I really think that the under is a play here with the crowd being a factor. Being that I think they're the second fight on the main card, so going to show up.
Yeah, the stadium's just going to get filled. And being that this guy already wanted to be on the main card, I feel like they're going to want to back it up with a great fight. So I think these guys are going to come out ready to finish each other like everyone else. But being that they put the pressure to be on the main card and now got put on the main card, there's pressure to throw down.
You think he's feeling that pressure? Or do you think he's ready?
I think they both have a lot of fights under their belt. So I don't think they're going to feel the pressure. I think that's one of them might come out and do something stupid in the beginning because they're trying to hype up the fight as much as they can. But I don't think either of them are feeling pressured. Both of them have been in a lot of UFC fights.
And as Moicano's favored because he's better in grappling and everything. I mean, Hernandez is a very underrated grappler. He's,
I actually think it goes the distance. I don't see it stopping early.
I was going to say, I wouldn't take the under because you're anticipating a finish on 2 very different style fighters. Like one's a knockout guy, one's a grappler. So I'm just going to take the Hernandez money line plus odds. If anything, if he doesn't knock him out, he'll win by decision by outstriking him and taking down defense.
Yeah.
Simple.
So, yeah, I'm going Hernandez. I can see value in the over, I guess, like Tube said, in the over or the under. But
I like Hernandez, too.
On that one, I'm going Hernandez as the underdog.
Alexander the Great.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm. And then we got Derek Brunson versus Jared Cannonier.
So this has been such a toss-up fight the whole time for me. I'm going to let Toof start off because I feel like me and Austin have been starting off. I want to know what Toof has to feel about this fight because I know he has some feelings towards both fighters. So,
well, I mean, considering every time I pick against Brunson, he wins. And every time I pick Jared, he loses. This isn't really a good fight for me to pick, but I'm gonna roll with Brunson. He's on a little streak. He's hot. I think he's really trying to get that title shot, man. He's trying to keep it rolling. So
yeah. The winner of this fight.
If I had to pick, I'd have to go with Derek.
Yeah, I'm gonna piggyback that as well. I've bet against Brunson probably 2 or 3 of last fights, and I think he's just coming in this fight with so much confidence. I think Jared is gonna have to try to find that uppercut when Brunson shoots, or he's going to have to be able to technically outstrike him. But I think Cannonier is only going to win with the first or second round knockout. If this gets into the third round, I see it being a 29-28, 30-27, Brunson grinded out, kind of boring fight, like stuff we don't want to see. But as a bettor, what you want to see from Brunson. So I am picking Brunson in this one, and it's not my most confident pick, but I'm riding the wave with Brunson. You know how much confidence he's been fighting with. And I think that he's going to be able to take down Cannonier and then just grind it out from there. But I know Oz, has some separate feelings about that.
As you know, the winner of this fight is going to fight for the title next. Most likely, if Izzy wins, they're going to fight Izzy.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot on the line. Brunson has been underdog in his last 5 fights, and he's won all of them. He's underdog here again. So what's everybody doing? They're picking Brunson. But it's tough to bet on somebody who's relying on a takedown just to win, which is what Brunson's going to do because
he can strike.
He can't strike as well. He can strike, but not as well as Cannonier. And he can strike when you're expecting a takedown. If he goes out for an early takedown and gets stuffed, he's going to. I think he's going to be, trying to figure out a way to win this fight, and it's walking right into Cannonier's ballpark. I'm taking I'm laying the money on Cannonier to get the win. I also like the over in that fight, but
yeah,
non-official play.
If it goes over, I think it's Brunson's fight, but we can agree to disagree. Yeah. Sack. So, how do you feel about this Derek Lewis, Tai Tuivasa, Shui Tuivasa co-main event? I know we've talked a lot about it. Banger. They're going to stand and bang. How do you feel about this co-main event?
I'm really excited about this one, and I think I have a little bit of a different opinion than most people. I think if Tai can take it past the second, he's gonna beat Lewis. I'm not saying Lewis will knock him out
past the
in
first,
the
or
first, but
past
I'm
the
saying
second?
if he goes past the first round, I think Tai wins. But I think Lewis is obviously capable of knocking him out in the first. But I think if he sticks to a game plan and gets him past the first, he'll win this fight. So that's my take on that. I don't know.
I'll piggyback that take. I think Derek Lewis is going to be looking for that one punch. I think if Tuivasa wants to be smart about this fight and making his run to the title, he needs to be more technical and not how he's came out these last couple fights. I know yesterday I said he was an underdog, but it was a pick 'em when he fought Saikai. I think it was -110 each.
Saikai is trash.
Saikai is trash, but he is ranked, so we got to put that there. Tuivasa's going up. I think if he wants to fight smart, he needs to fight technical. He needs to be in and out. He needs to make sure that Derek Lewis is looking for that one shot and not giving it to him. If he gets past the first round, like you said, I think it's Tuivasa's fight. But Tuivasa is going to have to make it out that first round. But I can see Tuivasa finishing Derek Lewis as well. We've seen Derek Lewis get finished. We've seen Tuivasa finish people. And I know everyone wants to see a shoey. It's going to be tough, but my play in this fight is the under 1.5. I think that Tuivasa can finish him as well. And I don't want to take his money line. It scares me a little bit. It might be a little straight bet at the end of the night. But I am going to go with the under 1.5 with one of them finishing each other in that first round, I think.
I actually think this has the potential for a little bit of a disappointing fight if it goes past the first round. I think they're going to be pretty tired and they're not going to be swinging too heavy.
I totally agree.
If it goes past the first round, which I hope it doesn't, but if it does, it could be one of the more boring fights on the card.
We've seen Derek Lewis fights tend to do that.
I think that this fight has zero chance to be boring.
Zero chance.
Yeah, both guys are crowd pleasers. They're co-main event. Derek Lewis fighting in his hometown of Houston. Last time he fought out there, he lost and for the interim title to Cyril Gane. Got absolutely dominated. He has his reasons about why he lost and everything. He had a lot of mental games going on. So I think he's coming back tonight to get the vengeance. Derek Lewis, Tuivasa, he tries to wear down on his opponents, and what Derek Lewis does, he just sits back and waits for that one punch, and that's all it takes.
But that's why I'm going to agree with Tu. Derek Lewis has that bust effect in his fights. Remember how hyped up him and Ngannou's fight were, and how boring it was.
I'm not saying it's going to be boring. I'm just saying if the fight continues to drag out, the longer it drags out, I think.
Exactly. Because Lewis tends to do that, and if he doesn't have a strike the whole fight, he won't throw. If he doesn't, and I'm not saying he's going to, but there's a chance where he's looking for that one punch the whole fight, and it never comes.
I don't think we're going to see that at all. Derek Lewis is going to come out. I guarantee his first strike is going to be a head kick, high leg kick to the head. Watch.
Oh my God.
I don't know if you can bet on that. But if I could bet on that, I'd bet on that because Lewis is going to come out and I see this fight. I'm throwing a little bit of money on under half round. First 2 minutes, 30 seconds. You got plus 265 on that. And I'm also going to take Derek Lewis in the first round, plus 170. I like Derek Lewis money line as well, but at minus 180, you're laying down a lot to win. So
Yeah.
Those are my. I'm looking forward to this fight, to say the least.
I just want to see a show. That's all I'm here for. I want to see a show.
Definitely.
All right. What about what we're all talking about, the Israel Adesanya versus Robert Whittaker? Who you got? Us.
Oh, I'm going Izzy. He's gonna win the fight for sure. In my opinion, I just don't see him losing. Whittaker he's been here before. He's fought Izzy. He got knocked out. I think he's gonna be very cautious to that. He won't get knocked out this time around. And Izzy's, like we were talking about yesterday on the podcast, he's very, counter fighter. He counters a lot because he's the champ. And he knows you got to bring the fight to him for you to win. So I see this, being a technical striking matchup. Izzy's takedown defense is underrated. I think he shows that tonight, that he's got great takedown defense. And my actual bet on this, I put it on the Twitter, Babble Sports Bets, Izzy by decision plus 160.
Babble Sports in the description.
Yes, sir.
No cap. Yeah, I think I honestly think Adesanya is going to put on a show from the moment his walkout song starts. It's going to be a show from that point all the way until the end of the fight. I'm on the fence. I think Adesanya is going to dominate the fight. I think he's either going to win 50-45 or 49-46, something like that, if it goes to decision. But I can see him finishing him in the third or fourth round. I think if Izzy comes out and, just picks him apart with his striking, and Whittaker, I think he's going to come out slow. I think he's going to get frustrated if he goes down 2-0 in these rounds, and he's going to try to hit a power punch or stun him. And he can run into something stupid like he did last time. He ran into 2 left hooks, the second one dropping him and finishing the fight. So I'm really on the fence there. I kind of just want to use Adesanya as a parlay piece just because I like rooting for him so much, which isn't the smartest. But I'm probably going to go Adesanya by
never go wrong with picking Izzy, though.
How about you, Tefano?
As much as I want to see Whittaker get the belt, man, because I think he could go on a little run if he got it. I just don't see how he can do it. I just think Izzy's too good right now, too technical. I think he's trying to prove a point, especially with everything going on with Joe Rogan and stuff. He's trying to back his boy. I don't know, man. I actually could see this one ending kind of early.
Just by watching the press conference and everything, I don't really think Whittaker's that hungry to get the belt back, to be honest. He looked pretty nervous in the press conference with his responses and just like the face-off, showing signs of weakness. I think if he doesn't get knocked out tonight and maybe wins a split decision, which I don't think it will be. I think it'll be unanimous if it goes to decision for Izzy.
I think Izzy's the better
I think that's
fighter,
a small win for him, for Whittaker, just to make it, the full 5 rounds and say that he didn't get, he put up a good fight, collect his check, go out and be a contender for a little while until Izzy decides to go up a weight class or something along those lines.
I think all around Adesanya is better. Whittaker might be the better grappler, but I think Adesanya, like he said, his takedown defense is underrated. The only times he's really getting taken down was when he went up the weight class with Jan, which was tough, but with a good wrestler like Vettori couldn't get him down. If he did, Adesanya's getting to his feet fast. So if we're putting, Adesanya's takedown defense compared to Whittaker's takedown offense, I'm taking Izzy there too. So I just think all around, like Tu said, Adesanya is just the better fighter. And obviously, one punch changes everything, but I don't think Adesanya he's never put himself in that situation to take that one punch.
Yeah. I could see Whittaker being a little too cautious early on and then getting caught trying to make up for it later in the fight. That's how I see it going.
Cool. So to end this out,
we got a few parlays.
We got a few picks we can go over again. We can all pick a banger of a night, the most exciting fight. But I'll start out with mine. Obviously, all the straight bets we went over, but I do have a parlay. We got it at plus 1296. We got Brunson money line, Arlovski money line. We have Lewis and Tuivasa under 1.5, and we have Hernandez. Right now I have 35 to win 450 on that, so that's going to be mine. as long as well as the straight bets that I said I was going to be betting throughout.
I tweeted these on the Twitter as well. Got a little Auckland, New Zealand parlay. Got Izzy and Blood Diamond. I would throw Oberg in there, but at minus 300. The payout's already good with 2-leg plus 292 on Izzy and Blood Diamond. And then we got a little last 3 fight parlay. Izzy, Derek Lewis, and Cannonier, all 3 favorites. I think they all get the job done for reasons I said before, plus 237 on that. And then if you want to throw a little prop bet, like I said earlier, Lewis under half round plus 265, that's good value there. Somebody's, like I said, they come out and swing and bang, then I see that happening. But like Derek Lewis said in the interview I watched earlier, you can talk all you want. Oh, we're gonna swing and bang, all this stuff. But they're both guys are out there trying to get a win too. So Tubasi gets out there and he sees, okay, the takedown's there, and I can win this fight on the ground. Or Lewis thinks that they're gonna do what they have to do to win. So
yeah, and these are all
not a lock by any means, but I mean, that's great value there for heavyweights that finish fights early.
Yeah. We'll post all these on the Twitter, and we will put @ names with it, so you know which babbler put the bet. So you guys want to follow. I know it's tough to go by words. Sometimes it's easier to see it, put it in. So he'll have his parlays up. We'll add all mine if Toof has one. Zach, if you have anything, we'll all add these with our username so everyone knows who's betting what. I think Austin, you also have a FanDuel here.
Yeah, a little something just to
sprinkle
have
action.
a little fun if you don't bet on fights like that, but you got FanDuel. We got Izzy as the MVP, so his points are times 1.5. I think if this fight, like I said, if it goes 5 rounds, Izzy's just going to win, have strikes and all that. It is. And then we got Bobby Green, who always puts on a show. William Knight, Blood Diamond, AJ Dobson, and Carlos Olberg. Those are
for our major degenerates.
That's the FanDuel right there. Most people don't know that there's MMA FanDuel, but if you're into it and want to throw a little something on it, there's a play right there.
Yes, sir. I'll be playing that. So
Yes, sir.
hopefully we win some money tonight.
Yes, sir.
Let's go. All right. Anything else y'all want to add?
Ooh, Jinx. Anything you got, Toof? Any bets you want to throw in there? Any sprinkles?
I do have a sprinkle. It's not MMA related though. I do like the Nets in an upset tonight over the Heat in Miami.
Oh boy!
And Kyrie puts on a show.
God bless.
What? I don't even. What's it? Oh, pull the spread. I haven't even looked at it.
The Nets just lost
10. So are you taking the points? Or are you taking the money line?
Boy said money line. Don't back down now.
I would take money line, but I think probably a spread would be smarter.
Yeah. Totally agree.
Spread like that. I agree with
Heat at home.
Nets have lost 10 straight, man. I think it's about that time.
Last night,
that's why I picked them against the Wizards last game. They freaking lost by 1 point.
I was going to say last game, I thought it was going to be Kyrie's coming out game. I'm waiting for him to drop the 40, 45, 50.
It's coming.
That he has. That's what I'm saying.
Coming.
So if I'm not even going to lie, if I had a bet, I would take Nets plus 10, maybe plus 11 if I buy a point, but I'm definitely staying away from that.
It'd be tough for the Heat to cover that big spread.
Yeah, I'm definitely staying away from that spread. But I definitely like the bet.
They have to get one at home or something. Whenever KD comes back is when I think they'll get their first win again. They're looking lost without him.
When's Simmons going to be playing? When is he going to be activated?
It's looking like he's going to wait until KD comes back.
Wouldn't doubt it.
Probably
long enough.
Probably after the All-Star break.
Yeah, after the break.
Cool.
Right.
Well, do we have anything else here?
I think that's a wrap.